So a bit of work on the Defender, ready for our trip to Wales in September. Had a clicking CV joint, so I've had the hub off, etc. I'd say that was knackered. I mean, it doesn't help that it's rusty and horrible in there. Obviously then we need some new oil. But yeah, I think that one is shot to bits. You can see it's supposed to be all the way around. And we've lost a ball in the axle, so we've got to fish around for that as well. Joy. I've got a replacement one there. It's ABS one, but it makes no odds really. Right, so now get it back together. Right, so whilst putting it back together, I noticed we had a bit of extra play. I don't know if it'll be obvious, but basically the swivel pin bearing seems like it's gone, so I've got to strip that off in a minute. Before I put it all back together, I've ordered a replacement kit, so I've just got to wait for that. And realised the reason that CV joint looks so bad, wherever it's gone there, was because there was no grease in the hub. Now, I fitted these axles from a Discovery from the guy who said he'd just rebuilt them. It had all new brakes and stuff on it, so I kind of sort of believed him, but he might have rebuilt them, but he never put any grease in them. My fault for not checking. So anyway, I thought, well, if he hasn't done this side, he's bound to have not done the other side. So I better take that apart and check. So I've had all this side off. And again, this hasn't had any grease in either, but all the CVs and all that are good. And the swivel pins are okay on that. So I've ordered 2 kits because I knew I was going to take this part apart. So I'll use all the gaskets out of it and then put this back together. And this side will be all right. And I'll put some grease in it this time. And I've emptied the axle of all its oil. Well, I say oil. It was more like gloop, because obviously another problem that I've found that I haven't noticed for a while is, I don't know if you can see that, there's a hole there. There's no axle breather on it, so that's gone missing. It was definitely there when I put it together. Must have got caught when I've been off-roading somewhere, so need new breather, need some new oil, and new seal kit and pin kit. So I've just got to wait for them to arrive now. And also an update, finally, it's taken near on 4 months, but my winch bumper and rock sliders are en route from Dixon Fabrication. When I ordered them, it was a 2-month waiting list. We're now at 4 months. But anyway, hopefully they're on their way. I've been told they are. So we'll get them on shortly as well. Right, so I had play in the bottom swivel pin bearing. Can't really show you now because there's not really much I can leave. Oh, you can just about, well, I told you can actually. You can hear it moving. So I've got a renewal kit, bearings, grease, pins, seals. So I'm just taking it all apart. At the moment I'm doing the top swivel pin bolts. I'm taking out the 8mm on the back that hold the this plate on, that holds the seal in, this big seal. So that's all coming off, and then once these are undone, should be able to lift it off the bottom pin and replace the bearings. So I'm going to take it all off, clean it all up and put it all back together. We've got a pile of bits. As you saw earlier, I've stripped the other side. I've just got to put gaskets on there and some grease. I did order 2 kits, but only one turned up. So I'm still waiting on another replacement kit. So we'll get at least one side done today. Well, that didn't go to plan. So upon taking the swivels off to change the rear seals, I found the swivels to be less than desirable. As you can see, they're all pitted past the seal, which means it will end up leaking. So the guy who rebuilt this axle before I got it didn't rebuild it very well, or didn't actually rebuild it at all. So I'm changing everything now. So we have just had a new delivery over there. We have, yes, it's Brit part, yes, I know, but it is what it is. I need this on the road. Pennies are a bit tight. If it lasts a year, I'll be happy. Hang on, I need to cut this open. Right, so we've got another pack of grease. We have the seals. We have packaging. We have more bearings. We have another top pin, and we have a full new swivel. So I've got one for each side because I'm just going to do both sides and be done with it. You know, we're going away. I don't want any other side failing, so I'm just thought I'd order them and do the whole lot. So that is what I'll be doing today. Oh, and I've got a load of brake fluid. No, I've got a load of brake cleaner to clean up all the hubs as well. So I shall crack on. Right, I've got to build up these swivels. I will fast track through it so you can pretty much see what's going on. I'll explain a few bits. First of all, obviously you have two bearings that go, one in there, one in there. Now whenever you use bearings, you've got to make sure you keep the bearing with its race. You don't want to chop and change them about. So I know this is the top of the swivel because of the bolt holes. So I can do this one and put a T on the box so I know that this is the right bearing for the top. Now when you put them in, you don't hit the race because you'll damage it. You want to get one of the old races and use that as a whacker. Right, so next is the seal in the back, which is in here. That one there. That one there. We'll get a soft mallet for that one. Right, I've cleaned out all the hub with brake cleaner and a brush. So that's now all nice and clean. So we need to put the bottom bearing on the pin. Now obviously these get filled with bearing grease, swivel housing grease. But I just like to put a bit of grease on these anyway, just to be sure. There's that. Right, next is the pin. Now you get several shims with these. I normally just take the first two off, try it with them two, and see how we get on. So I'll keep them in the packet. I'm going to put a bolt in the top here. The brake line does bolt to it, so I can't do it up tight, but it's just to hold that in situ for now. Then we can push the rear seal in and offer this up. Not like that. Now these will only go one way, backwards and forwards. So if you've got it this way up and it's the wrong way, you won't line it up. So it's got to be perfect, obviously the perfect way around. I don't think it's that way, so. There we go, sussed it. Right, we can whack them in. and I'll check the tightness of those once they're on the car. Give me a bit more leverage. Right, now that's built. There we go, that moves all right. So now we can bolt this back on the car with all the gaskets, etc. So we'll get on with that. Right, I've cleaned the original CV up in this side, it was fine, just a bit manky, so giving it a good clean with some cleaner, and that's all good now, so that can go back in the diff. Right, I've put new wheel bearings in the hub, greased them all up. Unfortunately, the camera didn't record. So I'm sure you can find how to do that on Tinterweb. Now we've just got to bend the lock washer over to stop it all moving. So to get the shaft out with the right amount of shims, use the dry flange bolt, because the end of the shaft is threaded. So you can put that in. And then you can pull the shaft out. Right, so next job, as I said, you put the bolt in the end, and you can see that can pull the end of the shaft out, and you can see the groove for the split pin. No, the circlip. So you have to get some shims that go in between the circlip and the hub, so they will fit in there nicely. So I'll now fit them in. Right, last job, well, say last job, one of the last jobs is to fill the swivels with one-shot grease. You've got to undo this filler here, an adjustable or a 14mm should do it. But the best thing to do is to remove the lock stop bolts, depending on how yours are adjusted. Mine are quite far out, so I've taken them right out, which means I can get full lock, which means you can get more access to the opposite one, because obviously this is now all the way out, the one's out on the other side, and this is undone, and you can fill it up a lot easier. So I've undone this one, so I can now rotate the steering round and I can fill up the other swivel. So just a little tip there. Right, well, that's just a quick video to show you the axle rebuild. You'll see a few other bits and pieces in that video that I'll cover in the next one. Just in a bit of a rush at the minute, trying to get this truck done, ready for a trip in a couple of days' time. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share, and we will see you very soon in the next one.